Butter two, what it do? Okay, we have new people. It's okay. So when I say butter two, what it do, then you give us some love up here. I'm gonna say it one more time. Butter two, what it do? That was better. That was a good practice. Okay. We've been up here all day long. It's 8 o'clock. This is the last Q&A. I need some love. Okay. So I'm gonna say butter two, what it do one more time. Give us some love up here. Butter two, what it do? There it is. There it is. Thank you so much. So I am Tamara Payton, your Butter 2 media host for the weekend, and this is our last Q&A of the evening. And I love that we've interviewed artists, we've interviewed different artists and different people. So we have a special treat. We have Stephen and Drew. And I know you see this beautiful bottle up here. They are with Uncle Nearest Whiskey, and they're going to tell us a little bit of story. I know you're like, well, why? But you're going to find out in just a minute. Everybody, give Stephen and Drew some love. Actually, make them feel welcome. Give them some love, you guys. There it is. All right, thank you guys for having us. So, Drew, you are the marketing manager, and Stephen, you are the director of sales of Uncle Nearest. So tell us about Uncle Nearest and how it got started.
So Uncle Nearest is named after Nearest Green, and Nearest Green is the first known African-American master distiller on record in U.S. history.
Wow.
He's credited with helping perfect the world-famous Lincoln County process, which is what separates Tennessee whiskey from American bourbon.
Wow.
So Uncle Nearest was founded by our founder and CEO, Fawn Weaver, who is an African-American woman. She was an entrepreneur and a New York Times best-selling author. When she heard a little bit about the story of Nearest Green, she got really interested in it, and she took it upon herself to find out more, logging over 2,500 hours of research to really dive into the story. And as she learned more and more, she decided that it was going to be her life's work to tell the world about Nearest Green. And the way she was going to tell that story was through creating a whiskey brand, which has now turned into the fastest growing independent whiskey brand in U.S. history. And for the last 3 years, it's won more awards than every bourbon in the world.
Wow. Wow. Did y'all hear that? That's dope. You want to expound on?
Oh, no. It's yours? No, go ahead.
Do you want to add to it?
No, Stephen touched on all of the highlights. Yeah, so I mean, you fast forward 5 years. We just celebrated our 5th birthday in July, and we're in all 50 states. We're one of the fastest spirit companies to gain distribution in all 50 states. We're in multiple countries as well. But it's all about our story, and it's all about the history. We say the Black history that we're making today. So, 1 foot in the past, 1 foot in the future. This is beautiful.
Can you tell us more about I know you said that the gentleman that taught Jack Daniels. Yeah. So can you tell that story? No, I want you to tell the story that you're talking about. I don't think a lot of people know that.
Yeah, so that's a great point that you touched on. And so for anybody that is not familiar with that part of the story of Uncle Nearest or Nearest Green, Nearest Green, in fact, did teach a young Jack Daniel the art of distilling. Yes, down in Lynchburg, Tennessee, in the mid 1800s, as fate would have it, a then 36-year-old Nearest Green was introduced to a then 8-year-old Jasper Newton Daniel, who was an orphan. Jack Daniel wasn't a privileged kid, and the owner of the land, Mr. Dan Call, he had a moonshine business, and he put a roof over Jack's head, but had him working under his men. And at the helm of that, the head distiller at the time was an enslaved man, was Nearest Green, who was so affectionately known as Uncle Nearest. After the emancipation in 1865, Nearest and Jack continued to work together. And in 1875, Jack Daniels started the Jack Daniels Distillery. and Nearest Green, his mentor, was his first hire. So it's a very beautiful piece of American history. Yeah.
So this might be a weird question, but what would be is there a difference in taste between Uncle Nearest and Jack Daniels, or is it a process? What would be the point of difference?
So they're both Tennessee whiskeys, and what makes them Tennessee whiskey are a few things. Tennessee whiskey is bourbon, so it follows all the rules that production of bourbon requires. But in addition, it has to be made in Tennessee, and it has to follow the Lincoln County process, which is the process of filtering the whiskey through sugar maple charcoal before you age it into the barrel. Now, Jack Daniel, Uncle Nearest, most Tennessee whiskeys have a similar character because of that Lincoln County process. But in addition to the Lincoln County process, our whiskey also adds 2 filtration methods after the whiskey is mature, and that's what separates us, in our opinion, from Jack Daniels. Now, they're a great product, they're great friends of ours, and they make extremely good whiskey.
Absolutely.
But there are differences in between the production.
Oh, perfect. Great. I'm learning something. Are y'all learning something? I am. Okay, so let's talk about the connection between art and whiskey making. Because some people are like, why are you guys at an artist Q&A? But there's a reason, so let's talk about that.
Well, Nearest Green was an artist. Whiskey making is an art. If it wasn't, everybody would be doing it. It's pretty profitable. It's pretty fun business to be in, but it's hard to do. It's painstaking labor. It's about sourcing great materials and ingredients, blood, sweat, and tears, and finding your process over and over and over again until that final product comes out perfect.
So if you and that's a great point that Stephen made, and if you fast forward, from when Nearest was making his whiskey, and you fast forward to today, on the bottom of every bottle of Uncle Nearest is a signature. And that signature is our master blender, Mrs. Victoria Edie Butler. Victoria is a 5th generation bloodline descendant of Nearest Green. She is Nearest Green's great-great-granddaughter. And when you talk about art, right, I think that that's a great connection and a great point that you're touching on. Victoria, season over season, year over year, is blending this award-winning whiskey, right, solely off of her palate and her gut and what she likes, and putting all of those together for us all to enjoy. It truly is an art form. So, yeah, and it's beautiful. It's full circle the way that it all came to be. So, yeah.
Yeah, we would definitely consider Victoria an artist. Additionally, she's the first African-American female master blender of a major spirit brand ever on the planet. She's the...
Woo, give that up. Say that one more time. I don't know if they heard you.
Yeah, so Victoria Butler, who is Nearest Green's great-great-granddaughter, is the first African-American female master blender of a major spirit brand ever on Earth, point blank, period.
That's right.
She's highlighted on the bottle.
Victoria Butler.
And she is the only person to ever win the Icons of Whiskey Master Blender of the Year award twice in a row.
Yeah, she won it back-to-back in 2020, 2021. So we're so extremely proud of Victoria. We're so proud of our entire leadership team. So Uncle Nearest Inc. is the only spirit company with an all-women leadership team. So we're the only one in the business, from the top CEO to our VP, our president of marketing, Lucia Creed, our chief business officer, head of whiskey operations, master blender, all women.
Wow.
So it's incredible.
Give it up for Uncle Nearest, Femme Fatale leadership team. I love it. Okay, so a couple more questions. The first one is, how did you get involved with Gang Gang and Butter? Like, what made you guys decide to partner and come here? Was this your first time here? Were you here last year?
No, okay. I was not here last year. Stephen was in a different market.
Yeah. So tell us about the partnership.
Yeah, so I definitely wish I was here last year, and I'm so happy that I was able to be a part of it this year. We were able to come on as a sponsor. It's our honor. We definitely look forward to doing it next year and beyond. So, as I said, saw how amazing the first one was, through social media and word of mouth. And so a good friend of mine, Brandon Wright, I'm gonna call you out. My guy Brandon Wright,
running around here all
Yeah,
day.
so Brandon is he's managing the bar program for Butter this year. He's a good friend of mine and a supporter of the brand, and yeah, we just had some conversations, and it just made a lot of sense for us to work together on this. There are just a lot of parallels, a lot of synergy, and so I encourage everybody to try the Augusta Savage. It's the Uncle Nearest cocktail on the menu. It's the top cocktail. It's the very first cocktail. So delicious. So that was curated by.
Yeah, so that cocktail was curated by Brooke Taylor, who's at the bar outside. Brooke is the manager at the Commodore in Fountain Square, one of our favorite cocktail bars in the city. She's extremely talented, as are the rest of the bartenders here representing our brand and so many other great brands tonight. So make sure you get a drink, try the Augusta Savage, try an Uncle Nearest Neater on the rocks, and tip your bartender.
Yeah, Brandon put together an all-star cast of bartenders from some of the top bars and restaurants, cocktail lounges around the city. So I'm sure, yeah, Bodie, Union 50, The Exchange, Commodore. So it's just excellently done. It's beautiful.
And I just want to say it's been wonderful learning about the history of Uncle Nearest, and I'm so glad you guys stopped by today. Is there anything that you would like the audience to know? Is there anything coming up? Is there an Instagram, or how can we keep connected with Uncle Nearest?
Yeah, so check us out on Instagram at Uncle Nearest, at Smooth Whiskey Drew, at SP on the Rocks. Definitely try the cocktail. You can find Uncle Nearest in all major retailers in Indiana: Kroger, Meyer, Big Red, Payless, Community Spirits, Total Wine. We're in all the amazing cocktail bars throughout the city. We would love your support, and we're happy to be here and partner with Gang Gang and Butter for Butter 2.
Yeah, Stephen touched on it just perfectly. I'll expound on that just a little bit. You know, the support means everything. You know, this brand was built in a grassroots fashion, you know, going to your local bars, pubs, amongst friends and sharing the story, asking for it, calling for it. We certainly appreciate that. We Are the Culture exhibit coming up later this month at Newfields. We've got something in store for that, and I know Gang Gang is a part of that as well. So look out for Uncle Nearest and Gang Gang later on this month.
All right, so be sure, you guys, when you try the drink, be sure to please tag them and support. When you're buying spirits for your friends and parties, be sure to support Uncle Nearest Whiskey. You guys, thank you so much for joining us. I had a
Thank you so much for having
pleasure
us.
speaking with you guys, and I learned so much. So, are y'all gonna party with us at Melt? Are y'all coming to Melt?
That's
come
mandatory.
to
That's
Melt?
mandatory.
100%.
Okay, so I can try a drink and take it to Melt?
Absolutely.
On our tab. Tab's open.
Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much again.
Were we really here at Butter if we weren't at Melt?
Okay, right. I don't know. It didn't really happen. You guys, give it up for Stephen and Drew, representing Uncle Nearest Whiskey. All right, so DJ Mary Jane, you back there? You ready, girl? All right, let's do it.
It's not that I don't want you here.